Okay, welcome back. Well, one of the stories that we're following this afternoon on the Media View here on eNCA is about Magashule is now seemingly game for tit for tat within the ANC leadership. Magashule has now filed papers referring to the step-aside rule as unlawful, unconstitutional, invalid, null and void. So where does this leave the ANC leadership? Let's discuss this now with Oscar van Heerden, a political analyst and writer for the Daily Maverick. Oscar, good afternoon. Thank you very much. Just when this story was brewing and that letter of suspension that was issued by Deputy SG of the ANC, Jesse Duarte, to Magashule, and then he then retaliated by issuing his own against the president, I spoke to a number of other people and they were saying they could see this thing is going to head off to court. Did you also anticipate we might be seeing a legal battle here?
Absolutely. I anticipated it. It's the only option open to the Secretary General. Remember, Dan, besides the letter that he wrote suspending the president supposedly, of course we now know, and the NEC has made us understand that that letter has no standing. It wasn't discussed by any of the ANC structures, and I think it's going to be a unfortunate situation where, because the NEC also gave the suspended Secretary General a time frame to apologize to the president and to the ANC, he has now, it seems, opted to go to the courts. I think he's making things very difficult for himself.
Yeah, I was wondering, that could be very risky because in the recent past here in the country, some courts have ruled when there's a political party issue to say, we as a court are not going to get involved. You belong to a voluntary organization with its own constitution, codes of conduct and all of that. So he's taking a huge risk here. I mean, if he loses this case, what next for him?
Well, I think what will be the next step, firstly, there's the non-compliance with the apology. The legal battle is one thing. There's the non-compliance with the apology. As Jesse Duarte has indicated, they will now take disciplinary action against the suspended SG for not apologizing. Secondly, if indeed, and I do think that the High Court is going to rule in favor of the ANC, because the ANC has made it very clear that they are a voluntary organization. You voluntarily join the organization, and so you must subscribe to the rules and regulations of the organization. And if you bring the organization into disrepute, then of course there is action that can be taken against you. Now, Magashule's legal team has quoted the Rule 25.70. Of course, it is going to be contested in a court of law, but I think that he is running the risk of actually embarrassing himself further.
Yes, because the ANC, the party that he says he belongs to and he'll always be committed to, has found that his behavior or the issuing of that letter suspending the president was unacceptable. Now, a disciplinary process could lead to all sorts of results. I mean, just ask the likes of Julius Malema, for example.
No, absolutely. I think that Magashule, if he continues on this direction, expulsion is certainly not far off.
Now, this kind of fight that's now happening, it might just escalate into this big legal tussle with a looming disciplinary process now because he has not complied with the request for him to apologize by today. It won't bode well for the ANCs because they should be focusing on the local government elections.
Well, this is the thing. And I think that the president, when he addressed the media post the NEC meeting, was making exactly that point indirectly, that we really want this matter to be put aside. Yes, there are divisions in the ANC. They would want to go on a retreat of some sort to try and iron things out. And I think he's saying we need to do this because we need to attend to bigger matters. Matters of the local government elections and service delivery at that level of government, but also to try and deal with our triple challenges of unemployment, inequality and poverty. And so these shenanigans and fights within the party is really just misdirecting the party.
Oscar, finally and very briefly as we end, where does this legal challenge now, this tussle, this Magashule issue, leave the ANC leadership as a collective now?
Well, I think, Dan, as you've indicated, he's not only representing himself in this legal battle. Obviously, people like Bongo, Gumede, and many others that find themselves in exactly the same situation, is wanting to wait for the outcome of the court case. If they lose, I think the ANC is going to deal with them very harshly.
Thank you very much. There, Oscar van Heerden, political analyst and writer for the Daily Maverick.